My predecessor told the NRA he's proud he did nothing on guns when he was president.
So that was Mike Johnson back during the State of the Union with his big ol' eye rolls. How could you say these accurate things about me? And it happened, and it seemed a little bit petty and a little bit juvenile. But immediately after the end of the State of the Union, I think most people moved on and were done with that. But one man was not done. And interestingly, it was Mike Johnson, because Mike Johnson, remember, is not just the speaker. He's the guy with the weird porn notification thing on his phone. He's a guy with some interesting views on things and personal accountability. And so apparently it bothered him that he had not only done the eye rolls, but that so many people had noticed it. It had become big memes. It was everywhere. And he, in a way that like, this feels so much like something that would have happened 20 years ago rather than now. He felt so bad that he apologized to Joe Biden about it. He was at a Friends of Ireland luncheon that he was there and Biden was there. And he apparently pulled Biden aside to apologize for the memes. The president, Joe Biden, laughed, then told the speaker he was glad Johnson was better behaved than Nancy Pelosi had been during Trump speeches, saying, "I'm just grateful you didn't rip my speech up, Jack." The speaker replied, "Well, Mr. President, didn't think my friends back home, or don't think my friends back home didn't want me to light it on fire. Our country is overrun with radicals." But anyway, so that came out. And like, if that's it, then I see that and I think, that's interesting. I don't even know that I think that he needed to eye roll. It was immature, but it's 2024. He apparently thought that crossed a line. And he apologized. And by the way, Mike Johnson and Biden have been able to work together on a few things. It almost feels like maybe some form of bipartisanship is still possible. Not necessarily bipartisanship that addresses like the biggest issues that we face, but like BS stuff on the periphery. And that said, the right is very, very, very mad that he apologized. And we'll turn to those reactions in just a second. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you.
Well, it's phony, but it's appropriate. And here's what I mean. Listen, Mike Johnson is like a prisoner in solitary confinement. And maybe, I don't know, they keep all the curtains closed and maybe there's a tiny little sliver of sunlight that gets through for an hour or two a day. And so he knows there's a big world out there. And he's thinking the only way to survive these other, Marjorie Taylor Greene and these other little creepy crawlers is to attach myself to the Reagan Democrat, the old school Democrat, Jack Kemp, John McCain. And so I think he's thinking I have a long way to go. But if I just befriend this guy, okay, with the Ray-Bans, might be okay. I might be able to survive this and I might be able to reinvent myself. I really think that's what's going on here. And I think Biden even said, if you stick with me, kid, I'll help you do it. I don't know if he can or not, but I think this is what goes through my head.
Well, I don't know, individually, I don't know if Biden can, and him publicly trying to help Johnson might hurt Johnson, actually. Like the fact that they sort of came together is what's hurting him. But I think that there is something to that theory, not for Biden to save him, but in the very near future, the Democrats might need to step up and save Mike Johnson because the crazies are circling and there's blood in the water. There's apology blood in the water. So here is Marjorie Greene, who posted this. Remember when Nancy Pelosi ripped up President Trump's speech? She did not apologize. Joe Biden is destroying America and Mike Johnson is apologizing for rolling his eyes. Again, okay, first of all, you dunce. They already covered the whole thing with Nancy Pelosi. You thought that this was some sort of like, hey, nobody probably remembers it. No, we all remember it. Like we all here on the Damage Report, we criticized it. But anyway, they've already gone over that, okay? Because it's an incredibly minor thing. This is not the huge, massive thing that you're making it out to be. I know that you're looking for literally anything that makes Mike Johnson seem as crazy as you do on your best day, but this is like a nice thing. This is like he's a congressman from Louisiana. It's supposed to be that sort of like country friendly, polite sort of thing. You're the one who's forgotten about that, Marjorie Greene. He's being more authentic than you are in this case, but it's not just him. Steve Bannon says Johnson equals worm. And for a guy who kind of looks like a vaguely anthropomorphized sandworm from Dune, that is a biting remark. Tommy Lauren says, it is absolutely wild to me that House Republicans fought so hard to get rid of McCarthy, only to replace him with Bayou McCarthy with darker hair and glasses. I don't know what her issue is with the hair and glasses, and the idea that they're the exact same person seems a little bit ridiculous. And then you ladle on top of that, Tommy Lauren, I think that you forgot that you're supposed to be pretending that the Dems are the ones who hate country folk. You think the idea that a guy is like comes from a place with Bayou is embarrassing? It's worthy of mocking him for? There are plenty of his constituents that live in the bayou country of Louisiana, and I don't think they like someone who lives on the coast mocking them so much, but whatever, I'll leave her to deal with that. Cat Turd will close things out, said, I'm starting to believe Mike Johnson is the Antichrist. And I don't doubt that that's true. Cat Turd is a moron. Why wouldn't he think that? So anyway, they're being very harsh in their criticism, Sharon. This is something that he did a long time ago. It's not like he could really avoid it now, but it is ridiculous that there's seemingly nothing he can do that doesn't lead to him getting attacked at this point. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right. I think if he wakes up and has a latte in the morning, that's a problem. I think if he, excuses himself for a phone call with the missus, that's a problem. Everything he does is going to be a problem. And I don't know how much longer he's going to even be able to not just remain speaker, but perhaps even call himself a Republican, as long as MAGA's in charge. It is what it is. But the criticism is silly. I remember Nancy Pelosi, of course, ripping up the speech. I thought it was glorious, when she snatched it. Oh, that really was against the Presidential Records Act, don't you think? If you really go back to that. But what I loved most was what was that thing she did? Or am I doing it wrong?
Yeah,
I can't remember why or when she did it, but that to me was far more meme worthy than the torn up speech. I mean, the speech was garbage. Okay, we knew that.
Yeah, that's true. And look, I think in the moment I laughed at both of those. But the issue is like, for me, I want that sort of like purely performative thing from someone who does lots of stuff that is not purely performative. Yeah. Like if AOC ripped up the speech, I'd be like, oh, that's good, or whatever, insert a Bernie or something, insert whoever you have respect for. Whereas for Nancy Pelosi, it's like, yeah, no, I know that you're good at this symbolic stuff. Yeah. I know that, but like, could you be awesome on like climate change or something? But that said, I agree. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.